So I use a lot just well-known structures from something like Ryan Deiss's Digital Marketer. For folks that have been around marketing for a long time, it's it's a way to understand in kind of a stepped way that generally when somebody goes from not knowing you at all to being interested in learning about you to maybe, taking out their credit card and paying a little bit for something you're offering and then eventually getting excited and maybe buying more from you,
Right.
that you need to be prepared in order to have things that are super relevant for them and that are designed in a way that they feel are perfectly designed for whatever their problem or challenge is. The
Okay.
offer design is one of the most like artistic, difficult, parts I think of the process for any of us entrepreneurs, whether people are creating a product or a service. How can you just create something that people feel like, God, this is just exactly what it is that I need? And part of that to me in the method of creating an offer is so often I just find people who just get passionate about an idea, like I'm going to create an app,
Hmm.
and they haven't first really understood first of all, what is that core problem that their customer is trying to solve, and what actually are the steps that they need to take in order to solve it, including things like developing positive habits and getting over mind trash and having obstacles for financing and all these other things. You have to really understand the overall trajectory of that transformation your customer is making from like having the problem to having it solved, and then really design your offer to be addressing sometimes that entire journey, but more often maybe a specific part of that journey that you can do really well. And that to me is the difference that a lot of people don't take the time to do, is they just get excited like, hey, I want to write a book, or I want to create an online class, or I want to create an app. And I'm always, the 25-year instructional designer in me is always like, well, but what problem are we trying to solve? Like, who said that that solution was actually what the person needed? You have to back up and understand the overall journey first.
So how do funnels play into all of this?
So funnels are simply, once you figure that out and you
Hmm.
figure out like what your specific offerings are, that goes back to that kind of stacked gradual opportunity where the first time somebody meets you, they may not be willing to invest $100,000, right? For
Right.
working with you as a consultant, for example.
Right.
But they may be willing to do a 2-hour specific paid webinar where you're sharing with them very specific tools that are solving a problem with them earlier on. So
Right.
it's just really a way to organize the different offerings that a customer has. And when you're doing it in particular using digital marketing, you're building bridges between those offerings. So for example, somebody reads a blog post on your site, they might have a pop-up that has some kind of cool giveaway, something that really is relevant to them that they can trade their email for. That email nurtures them maybe into this lower cost offering based of working with you. Once they do that, the email can nurture them into another. And that's the way often that you can just begin to really build this cohesion. It doesn't have to be email. This, I know
Mhm.
as a longtime consultant,
Mhm.
it really happens in conversation, right? Somebody might do a class
Mhm.
with me or something. We have a conversation if they're interested in coaching. And I know that it is important first for them to build trust and make sure we're a good fit, that sometimes they have a little bit of a lighter experience before investing in the deeper programs.